think that we've got a good chance to have a top defensive player, the top, one of the top, be there at 10. And it's, for me, I know from the past that when you start talking about being where there's one of the top, whether it be at a position or whether it be at one side of the ball or the other, that's a lot of action that can happen there. You get a lot of phone calls. If that phone is not ringing, that's them not calling, so to speak, somewhere in there's an old country song. But seriously, that'll start that activity. And so just as far as laying awake at night thinking about what might happen, I find myself thinking about that phone ringing about that time too. And so that's a consideration. We are well prepared, I'll say that, because Stephen and Coach and everybody has been involved in this process, and so we're very well prepared. I couldn't help, I'm going to allude to just one thing real quick. The question you asked Stephen about does seeing Sean Lee remind you at this time how you're trying to dig into these guys and see what they're about. And boy, Sean Lee, if you recall, had a lot of digging into how he became what he became. And boy, it had an intangible out the intangible out the intangible going on for him in his deal. But I was noticing reading this morning about Tyron Smith. And the reason Tyron Smith is here is because when he was 9, 10, 11, and 12, he was locked up in buildings in LA. But now that's the way you did it when you work overnight and when you're cleaning buildings. But he was locked up in those buildings literally. And he would work all night to a reasonable time. And his parents were in the cleaning of the big building business out at that time. And so you were sitting there talking about a potential Rhodes Scholar, you were sitting there talking about qualifications, but there, obviously, physical credibility all over the place with him. He was so proud of his intangible, which was his work ethic and working, and he was proud. His coaches would try to think of excuses for him not to have to go to work because he might not have as much sleep. But he grew up, well, you talking about a guy's buttons pop off, but he would talk about that work that he did in those buildings up there at that particular time. And that kind of stuff really was impressionable at the time. And so getting to know these guys, getting to look at their unique backgrounds and what have you, to me is actually the most important thing. And I don't know how you spot that one particular, this guy was unique. He's unique, Tyron Smith's unique in terms of how they got here as young guys.